Okay, well, welcome back to Parent Tips. And today I'm going to talk about this resource, The Next Step Forward in Guided Reading. It's been a wonderful book that we've started to use at our school in the primary grades. And today I'm going to talk about the first level of student that you might come into contact with, and some of your children might fall into this category. It's the pre-A reader. Pre-A readers know fewer than 40 upper and lowercase letters. Obviously, there's 52 lowercase letters when we combine all the upper and lowercase together. So they know less than the majority. Once they know about 40, they bump up to the next section, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. These children often lack concepts of print, such as left to right tracking and the differences between letters and words. Most pre-A readers need help learning how to write their first name, especially with correct letter formation. Many educators think that students need to learn all their letters and sounds before they can read a book. The truth is, much can be learned about letters, sounds, and words by reading and writing. And so today I'm going to talk about some strategies and the lesson plan that I've been using to work with pre-A readers. Many of the students in my TK class are now what we consider emergent readers, which is where we're going to go tomorrow. But for today, we're going to talk about pre-A, and this is where all of my students, except for, no, actually all of them, I think one or two came in knowing a majority of letters, but they may not have had the other reading skills, pre-reading skills. So we all started at this level. So there are some different components to the pre-A lesson. The first one is working with names. So some of the things that we've done in class are name puzzles. So I wrote out names on sentence strips. You could use index cards possibly, or just take a piece of construction paper, make it into a strip, write their name out, and then cut it into a puzzle, so that they learn the correct formation of their name, the order that it goes in. That's like a pre-name writing skill. You can use magnetic letters to learn to write names. You can rainbow write. Rainbow write means to write in different colors over and over again. So I would spend a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, working on names a day. And the next section, I'd spend 2 or 3 minutes working with letters. And as you can see, this is fast moving. These are young children. We're moving fast. We're not belaboring it. We're just hitting it every day. And you pick one of these things each day. So working with letters. Match the letters in the bag. So the letters that you want to learn, or maybe they're the ones that they've already learned, and you add a few new letters. You put them in a bag, and you are matching like letters, or you're matching uppercase and lowercase letters. And when I mean letters, I'm talking about these magnetic letters. There's lots of uses for these. If you don't have a set of magnetic letters, they're fairly inexpensive. I know you can get a large set on the Amazon. I got some really cheap sets so that I have lots of them. For the kids at school, I got them at Target in the dollar bin. You might look online and see if you could still get them through Target. Match letters to an ABC chart. So at school, I don't have it here at home to show you, but at school I have like an ABC chart that's on a paper. It's on in a paper size page, and actually there might be one in here. Yes, here is an alphabet chart. So here's the alphabet chart, and what you can do is take your letters throw them out on the table, and have them find the letter and put it on the alphabet chart. And you can do that by just matching them, or you can ask them, can you find letter B? And where does letter B go on the alphabet chart? And then have them match that up. Name letters left to right. So maybe you have a section of letters in a tray or on the table, and you just start naming them. A, B, C, D, E. And I even, after they know those, I'll have them say the sound. A, B, K, D, E, F, G. Find a letter on the ABC chart. So again, you go to that ABC chart and you ask the child, oh, can you find letter M? Letter M says, If you can't find it, maybe it's in this row right here. Can you look in this row here? Can you find the letter M? Moon starts with M. Okay, yes, here is letter M. So you can give them little clues. Just keep talking about it. The picture clues, talk about the sound it makes. And that leads me to the next one. Name a word that begins with that letter. So when we're looking at letter M, what else starts with M? Can you think of something else that starts with the letter M? When you're on that alphabet page, you can be like, oh, moon starts with M. Can you think of something else? How about monkey or milk or Monday? And you can come up with some different things together. Find the letter that makes that sound. So now I'm moving to the sound. So here's the sound. Can you find the letter that says and if they're not sure, you can say, oh, it's in this row. Can you find the letter horse starts with oh, there it is. There's the letter H. All right, the next thing, working with sounds. I did not do this in small groups because I'm using the Heggerty Phonemic Awareness that I've already shared with you. But in this reading series or this reading curriculum, let's say, they're asking you to clap syllables, hearing rhymes, and sorting pictures. Pictures are sorting things with the beginning sound, ending sound, things like that. I'm doing the Heggerty Phonemic Awareness, which covers all this, and we do that whole group. Working with books. Okay, so this is these print concepts, and I'm going to show you with my little readers. I use the Let's Find Out readers, and if you have access, well, my TK kids have access to these online, so you can look at them at least on the screen if you don't have the hard copies. I've been sending home books all year, so if you've saved them, you can go back and review some of the books that we've read together. But some of the things we do are one-to-one matching. So we're looking at the words and we're being able to figure out what word, when there's a new word, right? Have you seen green? That means touching each word as you say it. Concept of a word, like what is a word? Well, I know this is a word because there's a space between it. So we talk about, when there's a space. And so at the beginning of the year, the children didn't know what a word was, and they didn't know that a new word was every time there's space. Now, a lot of them have moved past that, but there are still some children that are struggling with knowing, when there's a new word and being able to count the words. So if you ask them, how many words do you see in this sentence? And they're like, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, those are letters. We want the words. So look at the spaces. And then, actually, if that's the title, it's a little bit harder. But, here we have a whole sentence. So how many words do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a word 5. It's giving me a picture for the word. So, and the words underneath it. So if they're able to do this, that means they have the concept of a word. If they're still trying to count the letters, that means we need to work more on understanding that whenever there's a space, that's when there's a new word. Okay, identify first and last word. So when I pull out my book and I'm looking at this page, I would say, okay, where do I start reading? And what is the first word on this sentence? Well, it's this word here, have. And then when I go, to where's the last word? Well, it's treats. And we're getting this concept of these different words and how to identify the first and last word. And the concept of a letter, we kind of already talked about that. Letters are different than words. Identify first and last letter. So what's the first letter of this word? The first letter is H. What's the last letter of this word? The last letter is E. So I can tell there's a beginning and an end to this word. I also like to talk about how some words are very short and some words are longer. Identifying end marks. It says period here. But I talk about end marks with my kids because we don't just use periods. This book has a lot of question marks in it. Every page is a question. And here's an exclamation mark. And most telling stories have periods at the end. This one just doesn't happen to have that. So we talk about end marks and that every sentence has an end mark. It might be a question mark, it might be an exclamation mark, or it might be a period. Locate the upper and lowercase letters. So we also talk about how we begin every sentence with an uppercase letter, and names have uppercase letters, but I'm not using uppercase letters in the middle of the sentence unless it's somebody's name, and none of these are somebody's name. So just these are all concepts of print that we as adults don't think about, our foundational skills to understanding what you see on a page in a book. And then the last section of the pre-A reading is interactive writing and cut up sentence. So I spend a few minutes on that as well. And what I do for that in my classroom is I am using this Sky Grass Dirt writing paper to show how to write letters and where to start them. And I'm not going to start at the top if I want to write the letter E. And here's the fence, and here's the dirt. And then this can transfer into a normal, dotted line paper. And we can move on from there. But correct letter formation is important. The other thing I can do is dictate a sentence and write it out. I think I can show you in here a dictated sentence. For example, sorry, give me a moment. So you might want to write so if I'm going to say I made a snowman, I'm going to write the lines, I made a snowman. And then we're going to write those out, and we can talk about the first sound that we hear in each word, and what is that sound, and how do I write it. And then once you have it written out, you can cut it up and let them put it back in order. So this is another pre-writing skill. So if they're not able to write it themselves, this is the beginning stages of how do I put a sentence in order, and what are the parts? I need the capital at the beginning. And if I need the word made, what does made start with? I might not be able to read that word, but I can hear the beginning sound, And if I know the letter M, I can find that word. And so this is something that pre-A readers can do. And then they're going to make sure that their period is at the end. So I hope that this gives you a little bit of an idea of some things that you can do at home with your students that might be at this pre-A reading level. And most of the kids in TK are kind of a hybrid of this. We're doing interactive writing, but we've learned how to form most of the letters, and so I'm dictating a sentence and I'm having them write it themselves. But if you feel that your child is not ready for that, then try writing it out for them and cut it up and let them paste it back in order, or make it like a puzzle and put it in order. So I hope this is helpful, and tomorrow I will work on the emergent reader.